These are my pre-lab questions. Question 1 was a voltage divider with VA being 10 divided by 3 volts and VB being 5 divided by 3 volts. Question 2 was an issue with the delimiter. In the Arduino code it calls for a comma, but then in the processing code it calls for a tab. And lastly, the radius of that circle was 5. The minimum and maximum values are 0 and 1023 respectively, which is a code of 1024 when not 0 indexed. And 1024 is 2 to the 10, and 10 is M, which is the number of bits, and the ADC in the Arduino is 10 bits. I found the appropriate port for my serial monitor to be 1, so I changed that within the code that was provided for us, and using the potentiometers I was able to move the red circle in the X and Y direction around the window. You've already seen the red dot move up and to the right, now it's moving down and then to the left. And using the two potentiometers at the same time, I can make the red dot go diagonally. I then changed the color to be blue within the code so that the fill is 00255, and then changed the shape of the circle to be an ellipse with a width of 30 and a height of 40. Again, I can make the blue dot go diagonal by using both potentiometers at the same time. To make the boundary fence for my blue circle, I knew the size of my window was 512 by 512, so I used some if statements to make sure each corner of the window was bounded. If the circle is in the top leftmost corner, it's at 20, 20. If it's in the top rightmost corner, it's at 492, 20. If it's in the bottom left corner, it's at 492, 20, and for the bottom right corner, it's at 492, 492. And I picked 492 because I wanted to make the boundary fence even. I noticed that for each of the coordinates given to us, the RG values corresponded with the X coordinate, and that the B value corresponded with the Y coordinate. And because 255 is half of 510, I made the fill value X over 2, X over 2, Y over 2, which changes the RGB values to black, white, yellow, and blue for each coordinate so that the color of the circle across the window changes. I defined a variable in processing to be t, which represents the x-axis of which we want to be time. I then added an if statement that clears the background when the circle reaches the rightmost side of the window. Then I added a counter for t. In my ellipse function, I made the x-coordinate t, which is how the circle moves across the x-axis. In the setup for Arduino, I established my 4 wires as inputs that mimic the push buttons. Then in the loop, I established the 4 directions, up, down, left, right, from which each direction would read from its respective pin. Then in the processing code, I used the processing references online to import the maze image and gave my red circle a starting point. I then made the array to hold the 4 direction values. Then I made if statements that control the movements of the directions. Using my 4 wires, I was then able to navigate through the maze.